What's up, everyone? After a pretty boring day in the market today, I gotta say today was pretty boring, and um, I don't know the markets. I mean, SPY hit new all-time highs. QQQ closed all-time high today, but overall in the market, mostly like most of the stocks in my portfolio were pretty flat, and it was pretty boring, which uh, you know is always just not good for options. It's not good for, like day trading. Even for swings, time decay just eats up your options. But, as Fed minutes are over and we basically have nothing going on for the next 2 weeks. For the next week, I guess. For Thursday and Friday, there's really no announcement or news that's going to happen. I guess the most relevant thing is the lawsuits that Trump started against the big tech companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Google. So that might affect big tech a little bit. I know like Google was down. I don't know if it's still down in after hours, but it was down in after hours quite a bit. Other stocks like um, let me see. I actually haven't checked after hours, but I know that futures are down currently, and let me just take a look at futures. So yeah, so I did draw out this channel for futures. Looks like we did break it. Maybe if I draw a larger time frame, you can see that, well, maybe not 4 hours, but you can see that we've been trading in this channel for futures for since like yesterday, I guess. Yeah, yesterday. And let's take a look here. So you can see that we are currently red, by we're flat, I guess, in futures. Crypto's currently dying. What I do see on Ethereum currently is a descending broadening wedge, which is bullish. It did bounce perfectly at the support line, so I am going to see if it can break the resistance. If we look at Bitcoin right now, all right, so Bitcoin looks a lot more uglier actually. Yeah, I don't know about Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like it did double bottom here. Hopefully it holds. So now I'm going to get to the comments. So if you guys have any chart requests, stock requests that you want me to chart out, that you want me to go over, let me know in the chat. And also, if you guys can please like this stream, it's definitely going to help out this channel. It's definitely going to allow more people to see the stream, because YouTube has this algorithm thing, and when more people see the stream, they're going to ask more questions. And if I chart out more stocks, that will give you more trading ideas, and that will benefit you as a whole. So if you guys can like the stream, that'll be really helpful. I'm going to start on the top of the list with Apple. So as I said, Apple, well, big tech is going to get affected, and Apple can be part of this list, though Apple's not directly, I guess, related to this list. So just look at Apple. I do see a slight rising wedge over here. So if I chart out resistance over here, and then I chart out support over here on the 15-minute, I do see a rising wedge forming. Maybe if I go to this body over here, I do see a rising wedge forming, and it is getting a little bit tight. I do see more upside though. Apple can still go up a little bit more, like till maybe noon tomorrow. It might break out, but Apple can go all the way up to 145.2 before actually playing this rising wedge. Keep in mind that rising wedges are bearish, so once it reaches the top, it's going to break to a downside. But currently, Apple does have more upside to go. Do keep in mind that SPY's probably gonna affect it, or the other big techs are gonna also affect it. So just keep that in mind. Same thing for Facebook. Facebook is a big tech, and I do have this giant ascending triangle drawn out on Facebook. It kind of did close below it today, so it did break out to the downside. It broke below it, so we have to see if it can actually reclaim the support tomorrow. You can see that Facebook broke down below it and rejected the support, which is not a good sign, right? If you go to the daily chart for Facebook, it is around the 90 EMA. So in order for Facebook to stay in the uptrend, you will need to stay above the 90 EMA, right? Because the 90 EMA is a short-term moving average that shows you whether or not stock is in an uptrend or downtrend. So you're gonna have to keep an eye out for that. On the smaller time frame, you can see that, same thing over here. Facebook broke below support. It tried reclaiming support but failed doing that, and the support's now a resistance level. It did bounce the 50 EMA over here, which I guess is temporary support. I don't expect it to hold if there's more bad news coming. Let's take a look at Boeing. Ooh, okay, so for Boeing, looks like on a 1 hour, this looks like a beautiful bear pennant actually. Looks like a really good short. It looks like a really good short, like a swing put, I guess. Like you could have swung puts on this. Yeah, just looking at this, it looks like you could have just swung puts on this. This looks like a really good short. I don't think it's gonna go up. I think it's also gonna go down more tomorrow. By how much, I don't know, but there is a gap over here. Right here, it looks like we kind of filled that, so the gap is like right here to right here. So there's a gap over here that Boeing can potentially fill. If Boeing does break out of this pennant, it's going to first have to test this support over here. I think, well, depending on the market too, but Boeing doesn't always follow the market. So I can see it going to 228 tomorrow, if not Friday, or maybe next week. It's usually all right with filling gaps, but whenever it does fill gaps, it fills it pretty violently, like over here, right? We do have a bear gap to fill up here, so Boeing's going to find its way back up to 248. But in the short term, I do see a bear pennant. It looks pretty ugly. It looks like a good short in my opinion. I would have swung puts here if I actually saw it today, but you'll just have to, we'll have to wait for confirmation. And also pennants are a lot more, let's say, it's really unreliable. Like if you see a bear pennant, there is a chance, there's like a really good chance that it can also break to the upside, just like how bull pennants, as I explained in my watch list for Tesla, it broke to the downside, and that was because pennants are not the most reliable chart pattern, and also there were gaps under Tesla. So same thing in this case, just that we're going off a bear pennant. All right, next stock is Amazon, and Amazon has been flying. Oh wow. Speaking of pennants, wow, this looks like a beautiful bull pennant. Right here. Looks like we kind of did break below it, but we reclaimed it and closed above it. So it's a matter of whether we gap up or gap down tomorrow. Like I said, bull pennants have a tendency of breaking down sometimes, and it really depends on futures. It depends on futures. It depends on the market tomorrow. I think Amazon's going to do really well if we are green as a whole market tomorrow. If we're red, well, then Amazon's obviously going to go down. But like I said, bull pennants do have a good chance of actually breaking to the downside. So the safest way to play Amazon over here is to wait for confirmation, right? If we fully break support, maybe you can short it, maybe you can wait for it to reverse. If we break resistance and we hold above it, well then, buy calls. But so far it doesn't look so good, right? So we have to see whether Amazon gaps up or gaps down, or stays flat. Even if it stays flat, it breaks support. So I do see more downside for Amazon, though you'll really have to wait for confirmation for this. And Shopify. Okay, so I might have to go to a larger time frame for this. Ooh, okay. I think I see something. This looks like a beautiful cup and handle, and I actually haven't seen this till now. So I might actually need to hold on to this chart. So for Shopify, if I can get the right tool, I got ARC over here. So this is the cup over here. And then the handle's like over here. We got some resistance. Well, this is technically support now, but resistance, there's like another set of resistance up here. So Shopify actually has a beautiful cup and handle, and I actually haven't seen this. So in order for me to be bullish on Shopify and to actually buy calls at this point is for it to break 1,555. And you can see that it did break above it, but it didn't hold. So for confirmation to work in this situation is to actually have another candlestick open above 155, 1,555, which is, you know, good confirmation. So yeah, I'm gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see. But overall, this pattern looks really nice. It's on the daily, which is more reliable, and also, you know, if it does break out, that means that breakout's going to be really huge. My one problem with Shopify is that RSI is actually pretty high on the daily. It's above the 70 mark, which shows that it's overbought. So this can actually easily invalidate itself. And, you know, Shopify is a pretty, you know, volatile stock. You know, it's a growth stock. So, like, if there's any bad interest rate news or, like, you know, any treasury news, well, you know, bye-bye Shopify. But I feel like it's going to bounce around this level for, like, a long time. And I'm sure this small handle is probably not the handle that Shopify is going to break out from. Considering this giant cup over here, I think Shopify might be forming a larger handle soon. But we'll just have to see. And the most important thing is to wait for confirmation, right? So once Shopify breaks 1,555 and it forms a new candlestick above it and actually holds it, not just like form a wick, but actually holds it, that's when I think that a call, you know, can be, I guess, safer for it. You know, no options entirely safe, but, you know, more risk managed, I guess. So moving on to the next stock, and I see it is Walmart. So I actually was looking at Walmart earlier today, and I do see a pretty nice inverse head and shoulders here. So let me actually pull out that pattern. Left shoulder, here's the head, here's the right shoulder, and that's not the only pattern I see. So currently Walmart is at kind of at the shoulder support. So first of all, Walmart will need to hold this price. Second of all, Walmart has 1, 2, 3, 4 EMAs under it right now. That's like kind of bunched up all together, which creates really strong support. And, you know, EMAs are just calculated moving averages, and, you know, the more EMAs you have under you, the stronger the support. So even on the daily, see how many EMAs are actually under it. So Walmart actually bounced off the 100 EMA today on the daily. And, you know, even if it goes under the 100, it has like a couple more to bounce off from in like a really tight price range. So if Walmart does go red tomorrow, my entry price will be 139.3 for a call. I do see potential in this inverse head and shoulders, though I also see a pennant somewhere. I see a pennant here. So not the most beautiful one, you know, resistance is kind of iffy. Support's also weird, but maybe if I go into 4 hour, it's probably going to be, all right, no, 4 hours is a lot more messy. So it's a pretty messy pennant, but you get the point. I do see so this is the first shoulder, second shoulder. I do see good upside for Walmart. We'll just have to see where it goes tomorrow, right? Because it's currently in a pennant right now. Either breaks up or breaks down. If it breaks down, it needs to hold this yellow line over here, this 150 EMA, because that's where the last shoulder actually held. So we're just gonna have to see. And keep in mind there is a gap over here, Walmart. You know, you go on the 3 hour, see this giant gap. It's from 137 all the way up to 139. So it's a $2 gap for Walmart, which is a pretty big gap considering how, you know, slow Walmart is at moving. So for this inverse head and shoulders to invalidate, we're gonna need to break 139. So any price below 139, I'm bearish. All right, our next stock is going to be NEO. So I was actually drawing this out today. So for NEO today, we closed right at support. You can see over here, this is a megaphone channel, also known as an ascending broadening wedge, which is a bearish pattern. We bounced right here today, and you know, tomorrow's the day where, you know, NEO can actually probably break below and actually play this pattern out, or we have one last bounce up. My initial thought was that NEO probably can break down, but usually when broadening wedges play out is when they have a last bounce, but their resistance is, or support's kind of like in the middle before it goes. So what I mean by that is, let me actually draw something out. So So usually broadening wedges, they go up, right? And then they go down and then up and then down, right? But usually whenever a broadening wedge would like almost break out, so you have this going all the way to resistance to support, is when the resistance is somewhere in the middle where it actually loses momentum to go up. Then when it goes back down, it has more room to go down. So, and I need to double click on those arrows, but that's basically what I'm talking about. So currently for NEO, it went all the way up to resistance, had 4 straight red days. And then, you know, it closed today here at $46, right at support. I don't see any EMAs that would actually hold NEO up. It did break the 21 EMA today, so if we do go green tomorrow, I think we're gonna reject at the 21 EMA, possibly breaking it depending on how green the market's gonna be. If the market's overall red and EV sentiment's also red, which it's been fading away, then I do expect a break in this ascending broadening wedge. But yeah, we'll just have to see for for NEO, and this is a bearish pattern overall. Just getting that clear. And beyond meat. Okay. Okay, so just looking at this chart without drawing any lines, I do see that Beyond bounced off 4 sets of EMA lines today, which is really strong. So similar to Walmart, right? Beyond also has 4 sets of EMA lines that just bounced off today. We'll just have to see if we hold it tomorrow. I do see that there's some kind of megaphone channel. Really not ascending or descending, so it's pretty neutral. Yeah, so it's neutral. It's not really facing a certain direction. I do expect Beyond maybe to retest this support over here and then possibly bounce up again tomorrow. Volume is getting pretty low for Beyond, so it can be going for some big movement. Usually when Beyond calms down volume, it suddenly spikes and then goes in a certain direction. I'd say 90% of the time when it calms and goes spiking up, that's when it goes up. Though, Beyond's an interesting stock, and it's also, depending on markets tomorrow, right? If we have a bloody red day, well, bye-bye to Beyond. But if we go green tomorrow, maybe. But even if the markets are flat, Beyond doesn't always follow the market. So you'll just have to see where it opens tomorrow, whether it gaps up, gaps down, or if it stays flat and what it does in the first hour of the market. And that's going to determine whether or not Beyond's going to stay green or it's going to go red. And also keep in mind, there's earnings for Beyond in less than a month. So if we extend all this all the way out, which I don't think we're actually going to stay in this megaphone channel, right? We're going to have to break out somewhere. And there are a couple of gaps down here. So if I want to choose whether or not we're going to break up or down in this megaphone channel, I'm leaning more towards the downward direction. Yeah, then this is the weekly, and you see volume is going down, which means that breakout may happen. All right, the next stock is, let's take a look. Let's take a look at PLTR. So PLTR broke out of my rising wedge. I did hold a couple of lives last week, and I did emphasize the rising wedges, and sure enough, it did break out. My previous lives, I did say about like the amount of rising wedges that I saw in stocks, and I said how maybe this week we might have like a bloody week, or maybe just like a stock market, kind of dip. And sure enough, we did have that. Just looking at PLTR, it's been free falling for the couple of days, and RSI is approaching overbought, though it does have more room to go down. Looking at support for PLTR on the daily, we did close below the 150 EMA, which is not good. And you can also see that the 9 EMA is about to cross the 21 EMA on the daily, which shows that it's kind of like a death cross in a way, but it's like a more short term, like, a downtrend movement, right? When the 9 EMA crosses the 21, that shows that we're, in a confirmed uptrend. Currently for PLTR, and also keep in mind for PLTR today, we broke through many EMAs on the daily. We broke through the 50, the 100, the 150. So for tomorrow, and also I might have to check out flow for it too. I don't have my flow pulled up right now, so I might have to check out afterwards, but I can imagine it's going to be pretty mixed. And if we do go green tomorrow, we're going to have to first break the 150, which I think we can because we barely close below it. But we're going to have to work on breaking the 100 EMA. And also do keep in mind that if we are green, we might angle this 9 EMA up a little bit. So let me look at a smaller time frame too. Oh, okay, that does not look good. Okay, so looks like a pretty nice bear flag over here. Doesn't look so nice. Yeah, PLTR doesn't look so nice. Even with this gap over here, this bear flag over here does not look attractive at all. So I'm bearish on PLTR for now. Until we do find a reversal, I guess. That's when I'm going to look back at it. But currently, PLTR looks pretty ugly. It looks pretty ugly. And also, someone said Roblox. I actually haven't looked at that in a while. So let me look at that. So, okay. So from all-time highs, which is at 103, we're at 86. Which, all right, looks like we've been calming down around this level. Okay, so let's see here. Looks like a bear flag over here for Roblox. So if I go on a 3-hour chart, looks like a pretty good bear flag over here. We had some consolidation over here. Been bouncing up and down. Looks like a pretty nice bear flag, in my opinion. I think we can go back down maybe to like 79 once we break out, possibly double bottom here. But yeah, looks like a good short, but also wait for confirmation, right? Because, you know, if we have a really green day, maybe Roblox can follow it and possibly break out. But we do have many wicks up here, which shows that we can actually hold the price above. But if you do want to short Roblox, you have to wait for confirmation for it to actually break support, because, you know, honestly, in these market conditions, anything can happen, right? SPY has been, like, I missed last week, which I really, you know, I wish I actually traded last week because SPY had really nice green days last week. But since, you know, even with the green days for SPY, Roblox has just been, you know, consolidating. It's been trading sideways. So I do see more downside for Roblox, and yeah, possibly double bottom over here. Maybe bounce off the 150 EMA, double bottom over here. Doesn't look so nice. American Airlines. Let's take a look at that. So this is similar to Boeing. I do have a descending Browning wedge over here, but looks like it's been bouncing off a second set of support lines over here. So as I said, for descending Browning wedges, or just Browning wedges in general, right? If it finds support somewhere in the middle, that means that there's going to be more of a chance for it to break to the upside. So I also see a falling wedge over here. Kind of steep, but still accurate. If I go on the hourly chart, you can see that it's a bit messy, but it still counts as one. And I guess similar to like Boeing, I guess, like, let me see if there are any gaps down here. There is a gap down here, but yeah, honestly, this falling wedge may invalidate itself. There's a gap down here, and if Boeing's going to fill this gap, I'm pretty sure American Airlines is also going to go fill the gap with it. Considering that, you know, Boeing and American Airlines usually follow each other. I'm going to make this quick because there are many requests. So Square. So I did play Square today, and, you know, I sold it immediately when I saw that it couldn't hold. Going on a smaller time frame, I don't see anything. So if I go on a daily, it's just been going up. It's been holding the 9 EMA, which is good, but it is starting to flatten out up here. If I do chart out supports, which is pretty messy with the wicks, Sorry, this is a resistance, my bad. And then support. Let me see here. Maybe if I ignore some of the bodies because we did reclaim. Yeah, we've just been going up in the channel lately. Not the most deepest channel, but we've been going up. And maybe if I go on a slightly smaller time frame, I can spot something. Yeah, I don't really see anything interesting for Square. I guess it's just gonna go along with the markets, I guess. All right, I did Walmart, I did Neo, I did Beyond. So make sure if you guys are asking me about the same stock, just go back in the stream because I did talk about it. There's a ton more, you know, requests, and I want to get to everyone before I end the stream. So I did Walmart before, I did Neo, I did Beyond, I did American Airlines. I did not do Carnival Cruise Lines. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so oh wow. Wow, this has been dying. Okay, so we broke right through the 200 EMA today, which is bad news. Looks like earnings made this fall. Wow, that's not good. This looks really ugly right now. So this was support over here. We broke through that. I honestly don't see anything. This is just a free fall right now, for now. You can say this is kind of support. So I guess we're just trading this downward channel. Not the best. Definitely ugly. I see it possibly bouncing tomorrow, maybe have it eking out the green day tomorrow, but really I don't see any upside for this, or just until I see a reversal, I'm not bullish on this. This is most likely going to go along with airlines, so that gives me another reason to think that Boeing and American Airlines is possibly not going to do as well because of the fact that, you know, lowering interest rates, right? Dow's probably not going to do as well. Economy, inflation, all these bad stuff. So until all this stuff is over, this is when it can start recovering. And also financials aren't helping with the Dow. Okay, so sorry about that. Let me see. I do see a bunch of new people on the stream. Make sure to like this stream so that more people can access this and more people can ask questions, because the more tickers you guys ask, the more charts you guys are going to see and the more trading ideas you guys can have. So make sure to like the stream. And also I just saw something. So on the weekly, there's actually a so I'm going to roughly draw some. Yeah, this is pretty messy. Never mind. I was thinking that maybe this is a megaphone, but you know, these two supports are just pretty messy. I'm not going to mess around with this. All right. Next stock is Run. I did talk about this in my watch list, and I did say Run's going to start trading sideways. It's going to have trouble breaking this resistance over here. Sure enough, it did that. We actually had a pretty red day today, and I did buy a lotto for Run because of the fact that I have to go on a smaller time frame. Because of the fact that there is a descending broadening wedge over here, so I did buy a lotto for it because Run tends to gap up or gap down a lot, and it can invalidate a lot of plays, which is why I called it a lotto. Right, so we closed right near resistance today, which gives me the idea that I hope that maybe we can gap up above it. Depends on tech futures though, so I really have to see. Let's see. So yeah, we really have to see. Also, if we go on the larger time frame, so if I remove these lines over here, it looks like we held the 150 EMA today. Also the 21 EMA, do I see this correctly? All right, so yeah, the 21 EMA is just about to cross the 200 EMA. So that also shows good news for run in the longer term, I guess. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. But in the short term, I am kind of bullish, though I will have to wait for confirmation for this. All right, let me see here. All right, I did Boeing earlier on in the stream. Someone asked about JD. So all I know about JD is that it fell with DD, which is, you know, all China. Yeah, see, it fell pretty heavily. You know, fell with China stocks. I personally won't touch China stocks around now because, you know, overnight there can be some China news that's going to come out and it's going to totally screw up some trading patterns. I guess I do kind of see a descending broadening wedge over here, right? It's pretty steep support. Never looking so good, you know. So I do see that, though, you know, possibly it's gonna completely ignore that. Do you see some bearish consolidation over here? Maybe if I go on a slightly larger time frame. Yeah, no, this looks really ugly. Looks like a bear flag to me. It can possibly drop down even more. I'm just scanning the chart to see if there's any gaps to fill, and I don't see any. So this can possibly go up for the fact that it can be a rounded bottom, but it'll first need to break the 9 EMA, which it struggles doing, and after it breaks the 9 EMA, that's when I'm going to assess it again. Nvidia. Okay, so Nvidia has been going up crazy. So this is Nvidia, went from $544 to $814 in a matter of, I guess, a little over a month, close to 2 months, which is crazy. It went up a lot. And usually when Nvidia spikes up like this, it always goes and retests the 9 EMA like it did over here, over here, over here, over here. We've been getting pretty distant away from the 9 EMA, which is showing me signs that we might have, you know, a couple of red days. And we did have a pretty strong big red day today, and that's because, you know, on the 4 hour we did retest the 9 EMA on here, but I don't think that's enough. I think we might go down even more in the next few days, where it's going to go down to 800, 799, where it's going to retest that mental number. Also, the split is in like 2 weeks. So after the split, I think it is going to, you know, possibly start slowing down. It might pull a Tesla where it's going to do some kind of like correction, because it is overextended, quite overextended in my opinion. Right, even on the weekly, it is pretty overbought, which is never good news. Wow, it's even overbought on the monthly. So on the monthly, well, I guess it's been always like that, but no, on the monthly, doesn't look so nice, but you know, that's basically what, you know, all of these like overextended stocks look like. But you know, on the daily, it is overbought. My prediction here is it's gonna go back to 9 EMA. We'll just have to see where it goes tomorrow, right? If it goes up tomorrow and just completely ignore this and go back to all-time highs, well, 9 EMA is still there. We're still gonna have to go back to it. But if we go red tomorrow, it's only a $14 move. So I guess the quicker we get it over with, the quicker these red days are gonna last. Snow. Ooh, okay. Snow had a pretty green day today, so if I look at this, looks like there was a bull pennant over here. We broke out of that. Looks like a pretty nice cup and handle that we kind of broke out of today. I think it can definitely continue. Right, we broke the resistance over here. We broke resistance over here. My next set of resistance is going to be like somewhere up here. So it can, I think it's going to go up tomorrow. I'm pretty bullish on it. It might also go down and retest 248 again. But if it's red tomorrow, I'm pretty bullish on the going into next week. Right, on the daily, It looks like it's been consolidating like this for a while now, so it is looking for a breakout pretty soon. And yeah, it's looking good. I think it's going to reject the 150 EMA, possibly breaking it, possibly, but you can see that 200 EMA just formed at 260. So first price target is 251, seconds 260, and I don't think it's going to break 260. But of course, we're going to have to see. All right. So the next stock is going to be Starbucks. So I do remember charting out this falling wedge for Starbucks, saying that, you know, it's going to go up or it's going to, you know, go back down and retest support. Looks like we went to the bullish route. Pretty nice rounded bottom. I do think it's going to reject somewhere around the all-time highs over here at 118. So it can go up one more dollar tomorrow. Also remember that it is pretty, you know, overextended from the 9 EMA. The 9 EMA is at $114. We might decide to slow down, but we can also, you know, go back all the way and reject pretty hard and go back down to the 9 EMA. If I go on a smaller time frame for Starbucks, so this does look like a bull flag over here. This can definitely continue tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like a pretty nice bull pennant over here. So it can definitely continue tomorrow. But of course, you gotta wait for confirmation for this. So I guess that in this case, confirmation means whether it gaps up or gaps down and what it does in the first hour of market tomorrow. But I definitely think this can continue tomorrow. This looks like a really nice pattern. Snapchat. So Snapchat had a pretty bloody day today. Looks like it held at 21 EMA. Looking at Snapchat's history, like, you know, over here with these red days, it usually does bounce off the 21. If not the 50 EMA. But this is a pretty ugly daily candlestick. If I go in a smaller time frame, you can see that, wow, it was pretty bloody for Snap today. I definitely think this can continue tomorrow. It doesn't look like bearish momentum has died out just yet. So on Snap, I think we might go down to $62 or maybe bounce off over here, maybe kind of consolidate, maybe go back up to the 9 EMA to reject again. So we can either go up to $66 tomorrow, $66.80, or, you know, we go back down. Maybe not go down all the way to $62, but, you know, somewhere like in between. So if I go in a smaller time frame, maybe around, well, that's $62. So there's really not much support. So currently we're at support over here, but there's really not much support after that, honestly. Right, $62 is like the next major support. Maybe the 200 EMA at $64, but on the hourly 200 EMA, you know, it's not that much. Fastly. All right, so Fastly doesn't look like it's been doing so well. Wow, okay, that does not look good. Though I do see, if I chart this out correctly. So here's support over here. Resistance will be like somewhere over here. Possible descending broadening wedge, though I won't take that too seriously because, you know, if we break resistance over here, sorry, not resistance, support over here, right, we can free fall down. Though I do think we're going to bounce over here. Looks like, if I go on a smaller time frame, maybe on the 30 minute. I was about to say maybe there's a falling wedge, but I don't see one. It looks like on the 15, it just rejects the 9 EMA all along. So in order for a reversal to happen, it first needs to break $54.50 and hold above it. Depends on whether we gap up or gap down tomorrow. But on the longer term, I do see a descending broadening wedge, which is bullish, similar to the pattern I was talking about for Ethereum. Speaking of Ethereum, let's take a look at where it is right now. Alright, so I guess we're still holding it. Not the best hourly candlestick. Maybe if I go on a smaller time frame. Ooh, it doesn't look so nice. Okay. Possible diamond bottom, actually. Does look like one kind of, but... Alright, I'm going to try to get to all your comments. Oh yeah, and also, speaking of American Airlines and, travel companies, the Delta variant for COVID is also in effect, right? Delta... I think just today the CDC announced that the Delta variant makes up the majority of the US COVID cases, which definitely is not good news, right? Definitely not good news. Do we have a sector rotation at all? It is possible that we have sector rotations. I think just the other, month, I guess we had like a, what was it? It was like, I totally forgot. But yeah, we can have sector rotations. There can be like a healthcare sector rotation or industrial, right? Just like a few months ago, industrials have been doing really well, but now, they've been not doing so well. Financials, they've been doing well. Now financials aren't doing so well. So, sector rotations happen all the time. They're nothing new. Are you going to be, yes, are you able to be able to rewatch this stream afterwards? Yes, this stream is recorded. You can rewatch it immediately afterwards with the same link as the stream that you clicked on to access it. If you want to find it on my channel, it takes a day to actually process, but if you use the link, you can access it immediately. And how does Lulu look? So Lululemon. So that is a COVID stock, so probably not as well. Oh wow, 5 minute does not look so nice. Oh, okay. It doesn't look too shabby actually. Looks like a beautiful rounded bottom. We're gonna reject somewhere around 383. We are approaching that range right now. So support is somewhere, no, not from this point. From this point, looks like support. We've been holding the 9 EMA, but we are kind of overextended, so we might see some consolidation over here. I was trying to find a rising wedge, but it looks like there is none. So it's quite overbought on the 4 hour. If I go on the daily, it's pretty overbought. It does look pretty overextended though, resistance is coming up, so it's probably going to hard reject, probably similar to this. So if you do have calls for Lulu, keep in mind that we are approaching pretty strong resistance. So just keep in mind of that. All right, TTD, so trade desk, I'm pretty sure that stock was doing pretty well this morning, but did fall. On the daily, looks like a bull flag. Looks like we had a failed breakout. Counts as a scout wick, I guess, in a way. If I look at so this does look like a cup actually over here. So this can qualify as a cup and handle, right? This is the cup, and then the handle is this kind of consolidation over here. It looks like we did kind of like a fake out today. We did kind of break out, but we immediately went back in. Not looking so good. We did kind of, I guess we did close above resistance. Possibly it can be called a retest, I guess. So we're just gonna have to see whether it opens green or red tomorrow. If it opens red tomorrow, I think it's gonna bounce off the 9 EMA, which is perfectly as support. So 9 EMA is at 75.24. If we open green tomorrow, well, most likely we're gonna retest $81, and then we did reject at 81.8. So possibly some resistance is over here, but this pattern overall looks pretty nice, though we're gonna have to wait for more confirmation. This breakout today just proves that confirmation is important. Roku. All right, let's take a look at Roku. So okay, so I did chart out Roku a couple of days ago, saying that it's going to reject around 444. Looks like it did. So now what? So Roku did break the 9 EMA on the daily, which is definitely not a good sign. Shows that it can go back into a downtrend. Though, sometimes, we break the 9 EMA and we immediately reclaim it, like over here. So, just like everything else, we're just going to see how tomorrow's going to do, because, we broke support today. Whether or not we reclaim it tomorrow, that's a different story, right? Maybe if I go in the smaller time frame. Oh, God. Okay, so support over here. Resistance is like over here. So if I want to draw out some, descending resistance. Not looking so good. Okay, so yeah, that doesn't even count as a falling wedge. Yeah, so I guess descending resistance would look like something like this. Yeah, Roku's pretty messy right now. I won't touch calls for now, because it did break support, necessary support to hold. If I go on the 4-hour chart, looks pretty ugly, right? TTM squeezes at this, neutral zone where we can either break out to the downside or upside. Overall, it doesn't look so nice. QH, oh my god. Okay, that Audi person is Tim Apple. So, hi Tim. Oh lord, okay. Wow. Alright, so QH. Might need to go on the weekly chart to actually chart this. So we've been going down quite a bit. Looks like we've been going down this channel over here. Been closing in. I honestly don't see. I don't see anything. Yeah, this can do whatever it wants, right? Look at the 1 minute. See, this is what type of stock QH is. Chewy. All right, so I was drawing this rising wedge on Chewy a couple of days ago. Looks like we are playing that out currently, right? So yesterday we actually opened our support, we surged. Today we rejected resistance over here, and we've just been kind of bouncing up and down. If I extend this, right, we're currently in the middle, so we can go either way. If I go on a smaller time frame, you can see that this kind of does look like a diamond top a little bit. Sort of looking like a diamond top. Not the cleanest one, so I think it might go back down tomorrow, which, isn't good for the market in general, but possibly this can also be a cup and handle, if you think about it. This can just be consolidation over here, right? But, we might make a move to the 9 EMA again, or, if the cup and handle, theoretically, I guess so-called cup and handle plays out, we can go and retest resistance around $85. All right, next stock is going to be Bob. Okay, I did. Oh, actually, yeah, I did. Did I do Baba today? No, I didn't. Okay, let's do Baba. So I did talk about this in my previous live streams. I actually talked about Baba over here, saying that it's going to most likely do a gap fill over here. Sure enough, we did a gap fill. So now what's next? So Baba is usually really good at filling gaps. So we did make 2 gaps over here. So we can either see a reversal where Baba's going to go up and fill these 2 gaps. On the 1 day, the 9 EMA did cross the 21, which is not good. It's not a good sign. It shows that, we might be in a little bit of a downtrend. Possibly we might double bottom around this 206 level, but it also depends on China news, because China news can come out anytime overnight, which, you know, will definitely determine whether or not it gaps up or gaps down. Possible falling wedge if we hold support over here. So we might see a reversal soon, but until then, we're just gonna have to wait. WBA, so Walgreens. Oh, what happened to Walgreens? Oh wow, okay. Kind of reminds me of Bitcoin, like this big round the top, but looks like Walgreens tanked on earnings. This is a beautiful round the top. I do kind of see. I was about to say a falling wedge, but this is way too steep. I'm going to close the volume just to look at the charts more clearly. I was about to say this can possibly be a falling wedge, right? You got support over here. Oh, 1 hour chart. Looks pretty messy. Maybe 2 hour chart. Yeah, 3 hour chart looks the cleanest on here. Possibly a falling wedge, though. On the daily, it just reached overbought level, which shows that it can possibly bounce. You can also see that the more days we go red, the less red we get, which shows that bears are starting to lose momentum. Right, volume is decreasing. And also, you know, we're almost like at the bottom of this round the top. So that can also be a double bottom. So I think we might play that falling wedge out tomorrow. We might go green for like the maybe at least the first hour of markets tomorrow. Depending on whether we go, you know, I guess we go red tomorrow following the market. That's on SPY and, you know, Dow. Well, it looks like Tim gave me $1, so I much appreciated, Tim. First donation of the channel, so thank you, Tim. Is there a way for me to get you moderator? I think I can get you moderator. Let me see here. Add moderator. There you go. You're a moderator. I typed something, Tim. I think he's a moderator now. I think I made you one, I think. PSTX. Oh my god, okay. If you don't know the backstory, basically we found these like random stocks, me and Tim, and we basically we had a bet where, like, you know, if we bet the stock is gonna go up in earnings or whatever, then, you know, we have to buy 10 shares of PSTX. I lost the bet, so I've been back holding PSTX since like it was up here. Thank you so much, Clutch Spawns, for that $5. I need to start writing these names down so that I can like shout you guys out soon. Let me actually write your names down. Clutch Spawns. Clutch Spawns. Thank you so much, guys. But yeah, that's basically the backstory of PSTX. Alright. Back to your real stock now, AMD. So I did draw out a rising wedge for, oh wow. Oh, what a breakout. Oh, I did not see that. So if I just readjusted just a little bit, actually. Wow, what a rising wedge breakout. So wow, that looks really ugly. Well, let's take a look at where it could. Okay, so actually, yeah, so AMD bounced right at the 9 EMA today, which is good, right? Because that technically we're still, you know, in a uptrend. Going on the hourly though, you know, there is a gap to fill at down to $90, so maybe it can quickly drop 50 cents tomorrow and then go right back up, or maybe if it gaps down to fill that gap, that's a possibility. Wow, that looks ugly. But also depends on the market, right? So if the markets are green tomorrow, AMD is gonna bounce right off the 90 EMA. If it's red, we might go back down to $80, $90. I mean, not 80. CRM. Let's take a look at CRM. Oh, okay. Looks like drew this wedge out, broke out, and retested. Okay, but let's not take a look at the wedge, and let's take a look at a smaller time frame for CRM. On the hourly, we broke below the 90 EMA. Looks like we rejected it, which means that we're in a downtrend. If I go on a slightly larger time frame, on the 3 hour, we bounced off the 9 EMA, right? So on the daily, it looks like we're trying to go for a 9 EMA retest on the daily. If I revise my supports just a little bit, so that's resistance, okay. Support would look like this. So yeah, perfectly at the 9 EMA. So I do think CRM is going to have to go back to around 246.2. Yeah, I was on vacation when that broke out. Yeah, but it looks like we went right back in. So technically it's not a breakout, right? For confirmation, right, in order for confirmation, CRM would need to close above this, open and retest and hold it, but that's not what happened. So I do think it's going to go back down to 246.3. All right, NEGG is going nuts. Oh yeah, I saw NEGG. That was crazy. We can take a look at that actually. Look at that. Wow. So went today, only today went from 27 to 67, right? Past few days it went from 10 all the way to 67. So honestly like an AMC, but can this be a short squeeze? Well, look at the logarithmic chart. I don't know whether or not it was actually shorted before this, so I'm not really sure. I also don't know whether or not it was Wall Street Bets that was responsible for this. There is a huge possibility that they were responsible. But look at the logarithmic chart, right? It looks like it had these shoot ups in the past and it just immediately died down. If Wall Street Bets doesn't catch wind of this, which I'm pretty sure Wall Street Bets actually, the Reddit group actually went private, so that's also a reason why AMC, GameStop, and all these Wall Street Bet stocks has been fading, and that's because of the fact that, you know, the group has also went private. So, and also just looking at technicals for this, which I don't know how much that's going to matter, but looking at technicals, this does kind of look like a rising wedge. I got some rough support over there. Sorry, that's resistance, and this is support. Looks like a rising wedge. So maybe we might stay green for like the first 2 hours tomorrow, but we are going to break out around like 11 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. I think I reached to the bottom of the list for now. If you guys have more suggestions or more tickers you want me to draw out, more questions that you want to ask me, feel free to do it right now. Looks like I have been streaming for about an hour, and yeah, let's see. Let me just scroll through the chat in case I missed something. Oh yeah, and by the way guys, some of the tickers where I skipped over, the reason was because I went over them before. So like stocks like Tesla, for the stocks like Tesla, Boeing, someone asked, Apple, I charted those out before in the stream. So for the interest of time, you know, I will. Oh, someone said DraftKings. Okay, let me take a look at that. I actually haven't looked at that. Ooh, okay, that does not look so nice. But on a larger time frame, we are forming some kind of wedge. Looks like we just hit resistance today. So I do think we're gonna have a green day for DraftKings tomorrow. Possibly gapping up a little bit. Maybe rejecting the 200 EMA though. Looks like by now the 200 EMA doesn't really matter at this point. It's not that much of a resistance, but Yeah, I do see a bounce back tomorrow. TWO. Ooh, okay. So it looks like we had a rising wedge over here. We broke out. If I go in a slightly smaller time frame, this can qualify as the cup. And the handle looks like we did break below it, which does show that maybe it might pull a Tesla where we break to the downside of this and completely invalidate this, which is possible, but we can also reclaim it and possibly retest around 402, depending on the market, of course. But it looks like we did retest the 9 EMA today and held it, which is good news. It shows that we're still in an uptrend, so we're gonna see whether how it does tomorrow. If it breaks the 9 EMA, I think it might. I think it's gonna go up tomorrow just because of the fact that this, this is just consolidation, and it's looking for a move upwards again. DocuSign. Oh wow, DocuSign's at 288. Wow. This was at September. Wow, it's back. It's back at all-time highs, which is crazy. Wow. I don't know if Tim is still on the stream, but Tim, remember when you when we lauded like that DocuSign earnings and then completely went to zero right here? That was a different story. But looking at the 4-hour chart, looks like resistance. It is starting to flatten out. So I do see a rising wedge on it. It is starting to flatten out, though it does have more upside for tomorrow. I do think it's going to go up tomorrow. Maybe retest support at 285 and possibly go up to maybe 300, 297, 300. That's like the price range where I'm looking at it, where to see it break down. On the daily, and once it does break down, I'm expecting it to retest the 9 EMA around $280. So it might make like a $15 move downwards after going up. But wow, from 179 to 288, went up $100 in 2 months, which is crazy. All right, TSM. Looks pretty flat. I want to call this an inverse head and shoulders, but more looks like a double bottom over here. Maybe an inverse head and shoulders over here. Possible inverse head and shoulders over here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right. If this isn't inverse head and shoulders, this definitely has some more downside to go to, maybe 115. But if we do decide to go up, the resistance is around the level of 120 if I want to be more conservative, somewhere like around like 121 area. This will be resistance. If I go in a smaller time frame on this, this does look like a bear flag, which is bearish, but that means that we're going to be breaking down. But I'm not really familiar with the stock. Looks like it does have earnings in like a week, so maybe earnings run up might bring this up. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how hyped the stock is. So, I mean, if I want to take a look at last earnings, right? Looks like the last couple of days it did go up. So, or the hours, I guess. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure about the stock. I'm not really familiar. So, any last minute requests? I've been streaming for exactly an hour now, so I'm gonna start ending it here. If you guys have any questions, you guys can always DM me. If you guys want any one-on-ones, or if you guys want any one-on-ones or any like help with charting, you guys can always send me charts and I can give you my feedback on it. If you guys want one-on-ones, you guys can DM me. And if you guys have any other questions, just DM me. I am in a couple of servers that you guys are in, so you can always tag me in chats. You can DM me, and yeah, I'll be sure to answer you guys. So thanks for joining, guys, and I'll see you soon.